What up, you guys? Welcome back. Shout out to all the new subscribers. Welcome to my channel. My name's Daniel, and right now I'm gonna share a little bit. This is kind of a funny story, but I'm gonna share like one of the biggest mind f's within the first year of my sobriety. So the last rehab I was at, over a certain amount of time, they let you go off property to certain meetings as long as it was recovery related. So my roommate was Native. And so we'd go to standard AA meetings, and then we'd also go to a Native AA meeting. The entire meeting was nothing but natives, and they had it was really dope, really good experience. Actually at the end of the meeting, they had a big drum, and they would do their thing with that, sing in their own way, their native language. I've never experienced anything like that in my life. That was super dope. So on Thursdays, the meeting was on Thursdays evenings, and my roommate really liked that meeting, and so did I. He actually met this girl in that meeting. Real cute Native girl, real pretty girl. He was just too shy, he wasn't a good closer, we'll just say that. So at the last rehab I was at, I also had my phone with me, and that was a no-no. So if you're in treatment, don't bring your phone in. But I had my phone with me. I was able to sneak it in, and we would, hop on Instagram, Facebook, just talk to people we haven't spoke to in a while. We'd be posting a lot of pictures of us because we were feeling good, looking good. Prior to going into treatment, we were just a couple dirt bags. He was an alcoholic. I was hooked on H. Let me wet my whistle real quick. So, I was in treatment for 4 months. My friend was in treatment for 2 months only. And so we'd go to this meeting, the Native meeting. And I could tell he really wanted to go because he met this girl. They were kind of talking. I would let him borrow my phone so they could message back and forth while we were back at the rehab. So when he got out, he basically went to the meeting a few times and just stopped talking to her, right? And I forgot how her and I started talking. I think she just randomly hit me up one day, and this was after we got out. When I got out of treatment, I had a girlfriend at the time. So Lindsay, if you're watching, I wasn't talking to this girl while we were together. Somehow, like after we broke up, she hit me up. So not anything weird, right? Nothing like that. She just hit me up to check in, blah, blah, blah. So, and then my friend just stopped talking to this girl. He was staying in a sober living, and he wasn't confident enough with himself to pursue a relationship. And he liked this girl, but he had enough sense in him to know if he were to proceed with this relationship, he wouldn't be able to take this girl out on dates, any of that stuff. He wouldn't be able to maintain the relationship in a monetary way, which is understandable. I'm pretty much the same way. If I'm not where I'm at in life, if I'm not happy, I will not engage in a relationship. Committed relationship. I'll hang out with someone for the night, if you know what I mean. But so ultimately, he just stopped talking to her, and the girl I was with, we broke up. I'm not going to get into that. But later down the road, this girl messages me, and we start talking back and forth, and I just let her reach out. I didn't feel comfortable enough to keep talking to this girl. It was kind of weird because bro code, man, bro code. I didn't want to step on my boy's toes, anything like that. So, also, I immediately got a job right when I got out. I think like a month after I got out of treatment, I got a job as a life coach at a treatment center. Really good job. So I had money coming in. And my friend, he was only looking, his trade was, what do you call that? His trade was, I forgot the freaking name. I'm not a tradey kind of guy, right? Kind of construction, like, he was a welder. That's what it was. Sorry. Anyway, so he was looking for a specific job in welding, and it kind of took him a bit because he didn't have his tools with him. He had them back in Phoenix. So it kind of took him a little bit to get the money coming in. I had money coming in from my job. So, sometime after that, her and I kind of start clicking a little more. And I was feeling lonely, kind of sad from the breakup. I wanted to hang out with somebody. To be honest, my intentions were, in order to forget my relationship, I just wanted to knock one out real quick, So ultimately, to be honest, that was my intentions, leading into that situation with this girl. So, she hits me up. She wants to hang out. She wanted to go to a meeting, and I kind of wanted to do that too. So, before I do that, I was like, look, let me talk to my friend. I told her this. Let me talk to my friend. I'm not trying to step on his toes. I know he liked you, and I just want to see where his head's at, right? And he was all for it. He's like, man, go ahead. He met some other girls that he was talking to on Instagram. He liked hanging out with other Native people, which is understandable. They're beautiful people, man. Beautiful people. So to be honest, some of the best sex I ever had was with a native chick. TMI, sorry. Anyway, so I hit him up. He okays it. And we decide to hang out. So I had a home group, and she liked that meeting. I never saw her at that meeting. I guess she would go to that meeting, but at a different time. So we chose a day where we both had the day off, and we meet at actually no, I go pick her up, and then we head to the meeting. Real cool girl. She's a hairstylist. My mom's a hairstylist. So I know how that world is. And we just chopped it up, man. We had no trouble communicating. Everything was cool. Cool, positive vibes. She was a respectful girl. She had a good head on her shoulders. Okay? And I thought I did too, I guess, man. I think I was 8 months into sobriety at this time. I forgot to mention it at the beginning of the video. I was 8 months into my sobriety, not even a full year yet. If you're familiar with AA or NA, they recommend not getting into relationships within the first year. And I knew it was a bad idea because so many things could happen. So many things could happen. I mean, our body and our mind is still healing within that first year. Our highs are high, our lows are low, and when you're happy, you're extremely happy, When you're sad, of course, you're super sad. And when you're in love, you're super in love. That's all that matters at the time. You're your recovery starts taking a back seat, you know? And that's what happened to me, man. That's what happened to me. I chose getting into a relationship over my recovery, you know? And thankfully, you know, I still stayed clean after the breakup. I had no desire to use. So, and I'm talking about my specific relationship, not with the native girl. Anyway, so to speed things up, sorry for the details. I just want to let you know how things went down. So we hit up the meeting. I didn't like it because I still kind of had a good head on my shoulders. I knew taking her to this meeting was a bad idea. My sponsor was kind of wondering why I would do that. So, of course, him and I talked about it. And he brought up a good point. He's like, both you guys have your own recovery. I was barely at 8 months clean. Her, I think she had like a year and a half or 2 years, something like that. But he made that good point. You know, we both have our recovery. Me taking this girl to this meeting wasn't the best of ideas because just having her sit next to me, I was thinking in my mind more about that versus the strong messages in the meeting, right? So anyway, the meeting's cool. We finished. I think we went to eat, and then I took her home. So, like a week later, we ended up going to that meeting again, and then before I took her home, she was living with her dad at the time. So her dad wanted some pizza. So on the way home, we stopped by. I buy some pizza. I didn't want her paying for pizza. Just kind of weird, right? Even though we weren't serious or nothing like that. I just thought it would be nice to buy her dad a pizza. Her dad was an alcoholic, so she was living with an alcoholic father. And she was real strong for that. You know, she took care of her dad. He'd be stealing money from her, you know, those type of things. I could totally relate. I was like, look, I'm going to buy your dad this pizza. Could I just talk to him, you know, when we get there? Anyway, we get the pizza, drive her back home. And it was kind of cool. Chopped it up with her dad a little bit, gave him the pizza. And her and I hung out. We didn't hang out inside. We just hung out outside, just sitting on the curb talking like we did on the 90s, man, old school stuff. And she begins to let me know she's starting to like me a little too much. And, you know, I was kind of digging her, but not fully, right? Not fully. My heart was still in my last relationship. And I was just going through it kind of, right? So, and she was wondering, this girl was wondering where my head was at. I didn't tell her the full truth, man. I didn't tell her the full truth. I was like, look, man, you know, we're cool. I'm liking this. So, I think she kind of knew I was feeling her and all that. I think she really knew that, right? She was cool, good rapport with her, all that good stuff. So, I think before I left, before I left, she gives me a hug, and she kisses me on the cheek, and I reached out to kiss her, you know, she's like, whoa, stop. You know, she's like, I shouldn't have done that. I was like, what are you talking about? You know, I thought this was going to happen. I thought this was going to happen. I was like, yo, let's bounce. Let's handle this real quick, right? But she says, I am sorry. I was like, for what? The hell's going on, dude? What is going on? You know, I'm feeling good, looking good. She was looking good, but she came to a halt with her actions. So I was like, damn it, what happened? Ultimately, she says, look, you're barely 8 months clean. She's like, you know and I know that we're not supposed to be proceeding with this. Maybe wait after your year. I was like, look, 4 more months, I'm still... That was the insanity where I was at. I was like, look, I was trying to negotiate kind of. I was like, look, it's only 4 months. Anything could happen in 4 months. So we were just kind of laughing about that. And as time went on, we just kind of... I kind of distanced myself from that. I didn't want a friend. I didn't want a friend to go to meetings with, you know? That's not where my head was at, man. Ultimately, I just wanted to get it in, ultimately, right? And I didn't want to pursue that because that's just weird. You know, I didn't want to keep pressuring her, keep trying new things, take her out on more dates, you know, nothing like that. I just didn't have the energy for that. And I knew it was wrong. I was like, I understood. And as that conversation ended that day, you know, I thanked her, but I was still tripping in my mind because I've never dealt with that before. I never had to deal with that before. Whenever situations were going in that direction, I had no problem closing. I'm good at reading energies, picking up on vibes. The eyes never lie, right? So I had no problem closing situations like that. But that situation just blew my mind. I was like, damn. So, of course, I talked about it with my sponsor. And I just let him know what I'm going to do, man. I was like, she laid that foundation. I had to accept it. I didn't want to be a dirtbag and keep like hammering at that situation. So that's what happened with that, man. I don't think I've ever talked too much about relationships or friendships. I have in a few videos, but nothing is really extensive like that. That was one of the biggest mind F's in my first year of sobriety, recovery. Your boy got turned down. But it wasn't for anything I did. It was just a life situation. This girl had enough sense to put everything to a halt. Because anything could have happened with one of us, right? What if we ended up having sex and she got pregnant, right? What if something like that happened? And I'm still fresh in recovery. Ultimately, she said she didn't want to be liable for anything bad happening to me, you know? She knew how sensitive and serious that situation is. Your first year of recovery. I don't recommend it. I don't recommend engaging in relationships. But I get it. Sometimes that happens. I was numb for years, man. Numb for years. And then when I got clean, all my testosterone came back. All of me came back. I was feeling good. I was happy. This girl was hot. All that good stuff, man. And I just wanted to be happy, right? Ultimately, I wanted to be happy. I was going through it. I just wanted to get it in, man. Just knock that one out the park. See if that helps. But time is pretty much the only thing that helps, you guys. You know? So wait it out, man. Wait it out. That is the message in today's video. Just wait it out. If you can. If you have the willpower. Don't do what I did. Do what she did. That was the respectable thing to do. Human to human. I was Native. She was Native. I was Hispanic. None of that mattered. Her decision is what mattered. Thanks for listening.